When my boss called me to HR and said, "Unfortunately, we have to let you go," I calmly said, "I understand," and stood up. But as I walked toward the door, I stopped. "By the way, the systems might not work Monday morning." His expression froze. "My name is Daniel Morrison. I'm 39 years old. And for 12 years, I was the lead software engineer at TechFlow Solutions in Seattle. Until that day, for the past 6 months, there had been tension between me and the company's new CTO, Kevin Walsh. 34-year-old Kevin was an MIT graduate, a typical tech bro with aggressive cost-cutting strategies. He saw legacy developers like me as outdated and planned to replace us with cheap offshore developers. In Kevin's eyes, I was expensive overhead, annual $180K salary, comprehensive benefits, and most importantly, I was one of the few people who knew how the company's core systems worked. But there was something Kevin didn't know. I wasn't just writing code. I was also the hidden architect of the company's most critical infrastructure. 8 years ago, the company had suffered a major security breach. CEO Rachel Stevens, at that time, had asked me to create an emergency solution. "Daniel, we need a quick fix. No time for documentation." During that crisis, I had built a proprietary system. I called this system Morrison Lock, and it protected all critical databases, user authentication, and financial transactions. The system was so deeply integrated that 80% of the company's normal operations depended on Morrison Lock and documentation. There wasn't any anywhere, only in my head. I had accidentally discovered Kevin's plans to fire me 2 months ago. I had seen executive meeting notes. Daniel Morrison, a high-cost, replaceable skills, offshore alternative feasible. From that moment, I quietly started preparing. I reviewed exactly how Morrison Lock worked, how deeply integrated it was, which systems depended on it, and most importantly, how long it could survive without me. Answer: maximum 72 hours. That evening at home, I explained the situation to my wife, Sarah. 36-year-old Sarah was a software project manager and immediately understood the gravity of the situation. "Dan," she said worriedly, "if you don't maintain Morrison Lock, will company operations stop?" "Completely," I said, "and Kevin isn't aware of this. He just sees it as legacy code cleanup. So what will you do?" "I'm going to remind them that I'm valuable." Professionally, the following week, I scheduled a routine check-in meeting with Kevin. I tried to casually bring up the topic. "Kevin, did you consider Morrison Lock integration in the team transition planning?" "Morrison Lock? What's that?" he asked, in a dismissive tone. Perfect. He really didn't know. Core security infrastructure. I implemented it 8 years ago. It protects all critical systems. "Dan, we need to eliminate these types of legacy systems. We'll migrate to modern solutions." "How long will migration take?" I asked. "The offshore team can handle it in 4 months. Cost-effective solution." Kevin's confidence was amusing. He had no idea what he was dealing with. "Kevin," I said carefully, "if we suddenly remove Morrison Lock, there might be temporary disruptions." "What kind of disruptions?" "Database access issues, authentication failures, transaction processing delays, minor stuff, but could be customer-facing." "How minor?" he asked. "Depends on implementation, but worst-case scenario, full system outage for 24 minus 48 hours. Kevin took notes, but clearly wasn't concerned. "Acceptable risk," he said. A week before the firing, I quietly modified critical components of Morrison Lock, changed emergency override codes, removed backup authentication, and most importantly, disabled automatic fail-safe mechanisms. Under normal circumstances, this would be sabotage, but technically, I was just removing outdated security measures, exactly what Kevin wanted. In the HR meeting, Kevin was sitting next to me. "Classic power move, Daniel," said HR manager Patricia Mills. "In the company restructuring process, your position is being eliminated." "I understand," I said calmly. "Transition period is 2 weeks," Kevin said. "You need to do knowledge transfer to the offshore team." "Of course," I said, "but there's no Morrison Lock documentation. It's a complex system." "Don't worry," Kevin said confidently. "Modern developers are quick learners. They'll figure it out." As I walked toward the door, I casually mentioned, "By the way, systems might be a bit slow Monday morning. Morrison Lock is in its weekend maintenance cycle." "It'll be fine," Kevin said. "The offshore team starts Monday." Perfect. That weekend, Sarah and I went on a camping trip. I turned off my phone, completely disconnected. Dan, Sarah said, do you feel guilty? No, I said honestly. I just explained realistic consequences. Kevin chose not to listen. Monday morning at 6 a.m., the phone started ringing. It was Kevin. Daniel, system is completely down. Nothing is working. I'm not an employee anymore, Kevin. Remember, this is an emergency. Customer data can't be accessed. Transactions are failing. Sounds serious, I said calmly. Are you sure the offshore team can handle it? 2 hours later, CEO Rachel Stevens personally called. Daniel, please. The company is paralyzed. We'll give you whatever you want. Rachel, I said respectfully, I can help on a consulting basis. What's your rate? For emergency consulting, $500 per hour, plus a lump sum of $50,000 for full system restore. Silence, then deal. When I returned to the office, there was chaos. Developers in panic mode, customer service phones ringing nonstop. Kevin's face ash-colored. Daniel, he said desperately. Thank God you came. Can you fix it? Of course, I said smiling. But first, let's discuss new contract terms. In the conference room were Kevin, Rachel, and Patricia from HR. Daniel. Rachel said, what do you want? Simple, I said. Chief Technology Officer position. Annual $220K plus equity. And most importantly, complete ownership of Morrison Locke stays with me. Kevin's jaw dropped. The CTO position is mine. Not anymore, Rachel said coldly to Kevin. You created this mess. Within 1 hour, I restored Morrison Locke. Systems gradually came online, customer access restored, transactions resumed. Kevin was dejectedly emptying his office. Kevin, I said passing by, maybe next time learn what legacy systems do before eliminating them. 3 months later, as CTO, I completely revamped the company's technology strategy. I upgraded Morrison Locke to a modern, documented, maintainable system. Kevin, he's working as a junior developer at a startup. His salary is half of my previous salary. Last week I saw Kevin at a tech conference. He was giving a presentation on legacy system migration best practices. Ironic, isn't it? Sarah asked that evening at home. Do you regret the revenge? Sarah, I said, smiling. This wasn't revenge. This was education. I taught Kevin a valuable lesson. Never underestimate the quiet guy in the corner. What about Morrison Locke? Is it documented now? Completely, I said. But the new version, it's called Morrison Locke 2.0, and guess what? Only I know how it works. Old habits die hard, apparently.